musimy wiedzieć, że nas słyszycie i widzicie. Najważniejsze, żebyście nas słyszeli. Bardzo proszę w czacie napisać. Widzę, że piszecie. Słychać i widać. Super, świetnie. Witamy Was bardzo serdecznie na naszym webinarze British Scubaver. Tradycyjnie co miesiąc je organizujemy. Ja się nazywam Natalia. W British Scubaver jestem metodykiem i sprawuję tutaj nadzór, żeby wszystko działało dobrze i poprawnie. Ze mną jest dzisiaj Marko, którego za chwilę zobaczycie. Marko w naszej szkole, osoby, które go znają, szerzą tutaj praktyczny i żywy język angielski i nie ma lepszej osoby, która by zaprezentowała tutaj ten temat o slangu niż on. Dlatego to będzie dzisiaj Marko, który z Wami porozmawia i poczyta Wasze komentarze, także zachęcamy do uczestniczenia, aktywnego uczestniczenia w tym webinarze, gdyż nie słyszymy Was ani widzimy, także spokojnie możecie siedzieć w piżamie tak, jak Wam wygodnie, natomiast bardzo prosimy o to, żebyście pisali i czynnie uczestniczyli, tak? Bo to jest jedyny nasz kontakt z Wami poprzez czat, także zachęcamy do tego. Jeszcze tutaj, zanim przejdę do tematu, powiem jedną taką rzecz. Jeżeli u Was cokolwiek przestanie działać, to oczywiście też prosimy o jakieś informacje, natomiast nie zawsze to może być po naszej stronie, gdyż tam mówię to dlatego, że parę osób nam to zgłaszało już. Pamiętajcie o tym, żeby odświeżyć swoją stronę i jeżeli coś tam przestanie u Was działać, odświeżcie stronę i jeszcze raz się zalogujcie. To na pewno pomoże, ale dawajcie nam znać. Jeżeli zobaczymy więcej komentarzy, że coś szwankuje z technologią, no to wtedy będziemy tutaj szukać rozwiązania po naszej stronie. Dobrze, to tak, jeśli chodzi o te sprawy techniczne. Natomiast tak, czyli już wszyscy znamy temat, tak, jestem wyświetlony tutaj na prezentacji Get Ready to Speak Some Slang. Celem w ogóle naszych wszystkich webinarów jest przybliżenie Państwu języka żywego i praktycznego. Również chcemy się bliżej z Wami poznać, bo są osoby, które chodzą do nas i znają nas bliżej z różnych wydarzeń, które organizujemy, z quizów na przykład, na które zapraszamy resztę osób, która jeszcze nie była. Zapraszamy do śledzenia naszego fanpage'a, gdzie te informacje można znaleźć. Natomiast te osoby, które po raz pierwszy z nami dzisiaj są, chcemy po prostu w ten sposób się z Wami też poznać, tak? Bo często zanim zapiszecie się do nas, chcecie wiedzieć, z kim macie do czynienia. No, więc jakby ja jeszcze parę słów oczywiście powiem na koniec, natomiast już nie będę przedłużać, bo każdy czeka i Marko tutaj czeka, przebiera już nogami, chce się z Wami poznać i pogadać. Ja oczywiście zachęcam Was do pisania tutaj swojej historyjki, swoich zdań ze slangiem. Ja na koniec przedstawię to, czego ja się nauczyłam, a po tej prezentacji tradycyjnie Was też zachęcam do tego. Okay, so let's start, let's begin, let's speak some slang. Marko is here, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Natalia. A very warm welcome, everybody. Let me say firstly, g'day. My name is Marko, and I'm from Australia. And I'm really chuffed that you're joining us here for tonight's webinar, talking about slang. I'm very excited to see some names of people who I know very well. So welcome, and I'm also excited to see some names of people for the first time. Also a warm welcome. By the end of the session today, I hope that you'll be able to use some of these words, all of these words, the next time you have a chinwag and a cuppa with somebody who speaks English. Everything's sorted here, so let's begin. The first thing I'd like to talk about is, what is slang? What do we mean by slang? I think there's three important things to remember. Firstly, that slang words are very informal. So we don't use them in formal speech, formal business meetings, formal writing. Secondly, that slang is normally spoken. So we will normally hear it rather than see it written. And finally, that slang is very regional. So sometimes we'll use some words in Australia, that are quite different to words you may hear in London, for example, or in the US, in Chicago. So keep those things in mind. So what we're going to do tonight is look at some English slang from Britain, let's say, or the UK. I understand that's the closest kind of native speaking English country to Poland. Then we'll look at some more international slang, and finally some Australian slang. And I look forward to that section the most. So let's begin with these two gentlemen. Now, when you see this photo, what do you think they're doing? How would you describe it? Maybe you know a slang word. So if you have an idea what they're doing, just write it down for me. I'll give you a moment just to have a guess. But basically, we see two, let's call them elderly gentlemen, sitting on a park bench, and they're having a good old chat, a good old conversation. So they're certainly chatting. Yeah, so I see that comment there. How about in a slang way, what could we call it? When you're having a good chat with somebody, a friendly one, maybe about nothing so important, but you're just enjoying yourself, like these two men on the bench. They've probably been doing this for many, many years, I'm guessing. I will give you a clue now. So the key thing to look at is firstly this part of the body or the face. So we call this, of course, the chin. And when we talk, the chin is moving. And when something moves, there's different words for it, but one thing we can say is that it wags. Like a dog. When a dog's tail moves, it wags. So these two men are enjoying what we call a chin wag. So if you have a chin wag, it's essentially a conversation, a chat, and you're talking in a rather informal way. So the example here, we had a good chin wag over a nice bottle of wine. And that's often what happens. A chin wag over a cup of coffee, over a bottle of wine. We haven't met for a long time. We had a great chin wag. So you can use this word next time you're talking about having a conversation. Let's move on to the next word. All right, now we have a man who must be working too hard, I'm guessing, and he's a bit tired. So, of course, he's having a sleep. Now we have a number of different words for sleep in English. So more informally, do you know any words for sleeping? Okay, yes, we've got one suggestion. A nap, absolutely. He's definitely taking a nap. So a nap is a short sleep. You can take a power nap. A power nap is a nap for maybe like 15 minutes. And it's when you're really tired, but you don't have much time. So you try to have as deep a sleep as you can in a very short period. We call this a power nap. We also have something called a nana nap. And I'll even write this one down for you. A nana nap. This is kind of maybe when you're a bit older, yes, and you just start falling asleep at different times, and we sometimes, I just need a little nana nap. Now this man's doing something else. There's another word we can use in English, and I'm guessing this is maybe rather new for you, but it's certainly used in the UK, and we do use it in Australia. I'll go straight to it. It is called a kip. So a kip is a sleep or a nap. So it can be a shorter sleep, and it actually can be a longer sleep as well. So he's trying to get some kip. He's very tired, he works long hours, and he needs a kip. So he's taken a kip on the desk. Now, if I have somebody visiting, and it's happened before, coming from Australia, I may say, okay, you take my bed, and I'll kip on the sofa. I will sleep on the sofa. Now we can see in this case, we can use kip both as a noun. I'll take some kip. Sounds a bit weird. Or as a verb, as an action word, I'll kip, I will sleep on the sofa. So it's exactly the same as the word sleep or nap. You can replace them both ways. So probably, well, I guess in a few hours, you'll be taking a kip. And hitting the sack or hitting the hay, if you remember, for those who joined on the idiom talk, we talked about this, hitting the sack or hitting the hay, going for a sleep. Let's have a look at the next word. Okay, and there's a nice question just before we talk about this. Is there a difference between taking a nap and a kip? Yeah, there is slightly a difference because a nap is normally for a short period of time, Magda or Magdalena, who I know very well. And whereas a kip could be for a short period, but it also could be for a long period. So you can, I would say kip is closer to sleep, but you can use kip as a nap. Hopefully that explains things. Now we see well, what can we say? We see a saucer. Thanks, I got the okay. We see a saucer and we see a cup. And we see some, I guess, heat waves coming from the cup. Now, I guess normally inside this, we would have something hot. If it's Poland, we would be having some tea. Could be coffee as well. So If you want to informally say that you're having a cup of tea or you're having a cup of coffee, how could you say that? And particularly if you've been to the UK before, you may have heard this expression being used. Would you like a cup of tea, or would you like a, what do you think? Give your minds. 3, 2, 1. Would you like a cuppa? A cup of coffee or a cup of tea? Traditionally, we use it for tea, to have a cuppa. But now, these days, because coffee is rather popular, particularly amongst younger people, I will say also a cup of coffee. So, a very typical expression is, do you fancy a cuppa? Would you like a cup of tea? Would you like a cup of coffee? Or let's meet for a cuppa. Yeah, I'm in town on Saturday. Let's meet for a cuppa at this cool cafe nearby to have a cuppa. We use it in Australia, very nice phrase, very informal, and I encourage you to at least use this one because there's plenty of opportunities to meet people for a cuppa. So next time you hear it in the office, we have a lovely kettle, we have the new coffee machine, and come and join us for a cuppa. We'll be very happy to see you. And this is what we'll look like. We'll have a big smile on our face. Now, this person is not just happy with this emoji who's living, is very pleased. Yeah, very pleased to see you, very happy. And we can say, of course, I'm happy, she's pleased, he's pleased. But there's another word we can use when you have this feeling. This may be new for people. I actually used it when I introduced this webinar. But I felt something. I felt not just happy, I felt chuffed. Very pleased about something. So as I said it, I am chuffed that you have joined us for tonight's webinar. I'm really pleased. I feel chuffed. It's like deep in my heart. I'm chuffed. That's why I have the big smile. So now it's Christmas coming up very soon. We can see the snowman behind me here. So imagine you give a gift to somebody you care about, my wife, for example, and she was really chuffed with her present. She was rapt. She was really pleased that it was a great present. So she was chuffed. Thank you so much. Now, whereas I'm chuffed that you could join us tonight. So chuffed is a lovely word that you could use as well. Very British, but we also use it in Australia. I must say, I've only spent a few weeks in the US, so it's much tougher for me to talk about the typical language used there, but I'll give you some words a little bit later on. Now, if anyone's gone to buy a car, and let's say a cheaper car, you may have met a man looking a little bit like this before. Actually, my wife described one of her uncles looking like this, which was rather funny. So we have a very old car there. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's not in good condition. This man saying it's like new, but it's clearly not new. So my question is, would you trust this man? Would you buy a car from this man? I'm guessing not. This man is rather, potentially he's dishonest, or we wouldn't trust him. Unreliable, for example. And there's a nice word that we have to describe somebody who's dishonest or unreliable. I'm not sure if you've heard it before. Okay, I can see somebody typing, so I'll just give that person a moment. Yeah, okay, the word is mafia. Yeah, okay, traditionally we had some people looking like this. I think mafia is a little bit more sophisticated now around the world. Sometimes we don't recognize people working in the mafia. So we've got somebody who is looking dodgy. Yeah, something's dodgy. A person is dodgy. So here we have a second-hand or used car salesperson or salesman in this case. And he's dodgy. He's dodgy. I wouldn't buy from him. I wouldn't suggest you buy a car. Now, let's say you're in some situation and something doesn't feel right, and you feel like she felt there was something dodgy going on. Something's just not right. I don't feel comfortable. I'm not sure what it is, but it just feels weird. Yeah, and you may get that feeling. So things are a bit dodgy. Not great. I don't feel good. So dodgy is very commonly used, and particularly in Australia as well. Dodgy. Okay, let's move to the next word. Now we've got a big tick, yes, and we have one a kind of three different shapes. One kind of square shape, and we can call two rectangular shapes. A rectangle when you have one length is longer than the other length. Yeah, this is a rectangle, similar to a square, like the blue square, but then we've got this longer length, a rectangle. For the people who love maths, I will write this down for you. This one's a little bit tricky to understand what's going on, but the clue is when something's working, when something's done, finished, organized. You know, we can put a tick. I've done it on our to-do list, and we can say that. Well, we can say that things are sorted. Basically, everything's organized, everything is arranged, everything's being dealt with, everything's fixed up. So earlier I said that, well, everything is sorted here, so let's begin. It means that everything's organized, we're ready, so let's begin. Everything's sorted. So if we're having a Christmas party, everything's sorted for the party, super. Or let's say you need something done and you're the manager and you say to your staff member, I want this sorted ASAP. Please organize this, please arrange this ASAP. Now, I know in Poland, when people see this ASAP, you say ASAP. I want this sorted ASAP. Now, if you say ASAP in Australia and maybe the UK, we won't be sure what you're talking about. So I encourage you, as I guess some of my students know, to say ASAP. So I like this ASAP, I like this sorted ASAP. Now, if you're wondering about this image, it's actually from an application, from a smartphone for people with an Apple, with an iPhone. And it's called Sorted, actually, this application. And it's really to help you organize yourself. So that's where the idea came from. And remember, if you're sorting something, to sort something, it means like to put it in its place. For example, and I'll talk about my wife again. Hopefully she'll be happy when she knows that. When she's organizing her washing, things to wash, she will sort things in different colors. So the pink things go together, the blue things, maybe the white things. We can't mix the white and the blues. That would be bad, particularly with the pink and the red. This is sorting, to sort different things. And when things are sorted, things are organized, things are dealt with, and that's what we're talking about. Okay, I've got one more word here before I have a little quiz for you. What can you see here? Hopefully you can see the English flag or the British flag. We call it the Union Jack. As it's commonly known, the Union Jack, which is actually also part of the Australian flag, I must say. And we have somebody, okay, it's an egg, but somebody who's not so happy. Now, I know this happens around the world. People aren't happy. And particularly in Poland, when people aren't happy, they like to do something. They like to complain. Yes, so I know Polish people have a reputation for complaining, but I must say you are not the only people in the world who have this reputation. Also, in the UK, they have this reputation. In Australia, we have a special word for people who like to complain. And it's not grumpy face, Magdalena. This is a grumpy face, actually. Somebody's grumpy, somebody's not happy. But somebody who's complaining, well, to complain, another word for complain is to whinge. Here's the word here, to whinge. So if you whinge, you complain persistently. Persistently is like never ending, constantly, always complaining, never happy. Please, come on, you know. Winters in Poland aren't that bad. The snow is very beautiful, and soon the days will be longer. You know, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be moving to the other side, and we'll have longer days. Everything will be okay. Stop complaining so much. Now, but if you complain in an annoying way, yes, it's just too much. This is whinging. And sometimes people may say, "Oh, stop whinging for heaven's sake." Or for Pete's sake, or for God's sake, or for goodness sake, please stop whinging. I'm so tired of this. Now, when we say for heaven's sake, or for Pete's sake, or for God's sake, or for goodness sake, we're putting some emphasis that we're really annoyed, we're really tired of it. Please stop it. So this is an emphasis. And you will hear this expression, it's quite common. And for example, we may just be whinging about the weather, which is rather common. And I understand, you know, it's not easy, winter's here. So that's whinging. In Australia, we call people from the UK, we call them POMs. And I have to say, it's not very polite. So I should, you know, I have to be, just to highlight that. I don't encourage you to say it, but if you hear somebody talking about a whinging POM, we're just talking about people from the UK complaining a lot. And you may hear that if you're visiting Australia, or when you visit Australia, I should say. That's 7 words. Let's see if you've been paying attention, how you're going there. We have a nice little quiz for you. Fill in the blanks. Sorry to make it feel like school, but I just want to keep you on your toes. And I'll write that. It's a very nice expression, to keep you on your toes, to really make sure that you're paying attention, that you're alert, that you're alive, that you're with me. So numbers 1 to 7, we had 7 words. See if you can fit those slang words into this story. And I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes and just write it down. Put number 1, what you think. Number 2, what you think. Have a go. I'll give you another 30 seconds or so. Okay. So thank you for your contributions. Hopefully you've attempted this at home and on a piece of paper. So let's have a look. Yeah, what do you think? Now that everything is, and I think there was a guess here, sorted. Yeah, now that everything is sorted, now that everything is organized, excellent. I'm feeling rather happy. I'm feeling rather chuffed. Yes, thank you. I'm not sure who MXMZ is, but thank you very much. Yeah, feeling rather chuffed. And think we should have a nice what? I think we should have a nice cuppa. Yes, I would say cuppa, a nice cup of tea, because everything's organized. We can relax now and have a chinwag. Yes, to have a talk, to have a conversation about that somewhat whingy. I wouldn't say a whingy person. There could be a whingy person, but in this case, I'm actually looking for a dodgy person. I'd like to talk about that dodgy person you often whinge about, that person you often complain about, who likes to, yes, there's a few correct guesses for number 7, to kip at work. Yes, the person shouldn't be kipping. That's a bit dodgy. That's not very good. And that's the answer. So if we have a look at it one more time, now that everything is sorted, I'm feeling rather chuffed and think we should have a nice cuppa and a chinwag about that somewhat dodgy person you often whinge about, who likes to kip at work. That's it. So hopefully you kind of can see them in action now. That's a very long sentence, I know, but just to give you a flavor, a feeling for these words. And that's the end of the focus on the British section. What we'll do now is look at something, and we'll look at a few different words you can use for the same thing. Now, the first thing here is something that we'll all have to use during the day. So it's important to understand some of the different words you can use. Of course, this is a toilet. Yes, it's a rather lovely toilet, I must say. Very fancy. Nice blue paint there, and a nice little tree. Okay, so we've got a toilet. What are some other words we can use for a toilet? Whether you're in the UK, in Australia, or the US. What do you think? If you've got any ideas, put them down. Okay, so the ladies. Yes, you can say, I'm looking for the ladies or the gents. Absolutely. You're at the pub, you're at a restaurant. Excuse me, where's the ladies or the gents? Okay, excellent, Svetlana. I'm the loo. Where's the loo? I'm looking for the loo. I'm looking for the washroom. Okay, so we've got a few loos. Yeah, and you'll definitely hear that in Australia and in the UK. The restroom. Yeah, absolutely. Now, it's a bit weird, yes, if you say, where is the restroom? It's not a room where you can go and kip. It is a room where I guess you can rest for a moment, maybe fix your makeup and wash your hands, but also use the facilities, use the toilet. So we call this a restroom. For women, you may have heard the powder room, to put your powder, yeah, for your, I guess your makeup. So just to brush, make yourself look even more beautiful. We call this the powder room. So you may have heard these words. So, what have we got there? Okay, we've got a nice, very interesting entry here. A day had on the yachts. I must say I've never heard of this, so I haven't spent enough time on yachts. I assume that's English, but maybe coming from another language. So thank you very much, Magdalena. A day had. Where's the day had? Well, that sounds cool. Nicer than saying where's the toilets or where's the loo. So what have I got? I've got three words here. One is the loo, yes, as Svetlana mentioned and Yuasha. Where's the loo? Where's the toilets? Yeah, where can I find the loo? Very informal. Hey, where's the loo? I need the loo. I need to run to the loo quickly. So that's the loo. Now in the US, this may be news for you. Where's the John? John? Where's John? So John is a toilet. I'm just going to the John, to the toilet before we leave. I just need to go to the John. Just give me a moment. I just need to go to the John. So you will hear it in Australia. I'm not sure in the UK if they use this word John, but you can certainly try. And really, the way the world is changing, that we are seeing many of these words now being used in different countries. So there's a greater chance somebody will understand what you mean. Now, I have added a note that facilities is a very kind of polite way of asking for the toilets. So if you're at a nice hotel, at a nice restaurant, and you don't want to say, hey, where are the toilets, or where's the loo, or where's the John, you can just politely say, excuse me, where are the facilities? It's a little bit posh and very polite, but this is another nice option for you. Enough toilet speak, important topic, but let's move on. Something else we like to talk about and say is thank you. Yeah, thank you for your help. Thank you for joining us tonight. Now we know there's many different ways of saying thank you, so I'm interested if you know, some more informal ways of saying thanks. So write them down if you know them, and we're focusing on English, of course. Yeah, absolutely. So cheers, cheers. I love using cheers. Of course, cheers with drinks. Cheers. Yeah, cheers to your health. Absolutely. But we can just say cheers. And anybody who receives emails from me will see that I often finish my emails with cheers, Marko. Cheers, comma, Marko. Cheers is kind of like meaning thank you, goodbye, see you later. It's kind of just everything, be happy. It's kind of very nice greeting at the end to say cheers. It's been nice writing to you, nice talking with you. Cheers. Cheers is also thank you. Any other ideas on what you can say? It's looking a bit quiet, so I'll share them now. You want to say thank you. In the UK and in Australia, you can just say ta. Can you please pass the salt? I pass the salt, and you say ta. As simple as that. Or thanks. So ta. Ta for that report. Just simple ta. Very informal, rather British, I think, more than Australian, but ta. Super. Of course, you can say cheers, which we've talked about. So I've saved you a seat here. Cheers. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And the last one I really like. Thanks a million. Thanks a million for all your help. Now this one, I must say, I heard a lot in Ireland. Yeah, thanks a million for all your help. It was lovely. Yeah, thanks a million. Sounds like that. I must admit, I don't hear it so much in Australia, but if you visit Dublin or anywhere in Ireland, you will hear this. Thanks a million. It's great. So good to hear from you. Thanks a million. That's it. So now you can start using some of these. So that's thank you. Now you may recognize, you should recognize this face, a very famous, of course, person on the world stage. So now Barack Obama wasn't always a happy man. And I'm not sure what was happening at this case. Maybe when he found out Trump was elected, he was probably disappointed and upset and maybe annoyed. And when you have this feeling, when you're not happy, you're really not happy, you're upset, you're you're annoyed, you're disappointed that something's happening. How can you express that? How would you say it? I'm really. There's a few different words you can say. We'll try not to use some of those stronger words. Keep things a bit nice. I'll give you one of them in a moment. But what would you say? Yeah, you could say I'm pissed off. I'm really pissed off. I am not happy. Now, of course, it's quite strong to say this, yes. In the UK, in Australia, we say pissed off. In the US, we just simply say I'm pissed. I'm really pissed. Yeah. We don't need the off in this case. We just say I'm pissed. I'm not happy. And in Australia, we use both, to be honest. So pissed off. Now, there's actually something softer you can say rather than pissed off, and I'm going to share it with you. So let's go there straight away. And here it is. To say I'm cheesed off. That's right, I'm cheesed off. She's a bit cheesed off with him. Or I'm a bit cheesed off with her. I'm not happy. I'm pissed off. So it's a little bit softer than pissed off or pissed. I'm cheesed off. I'm not happy. It just sounds a little bit nicer, and it's a little bit weird, and it's really cool to use. So he seemed a bit pissed off. He seemed a bit cheesed off with the situation. One other word you can use is gutted. I know how gutted they must feel. I'm gutted to hear that. I'm really upset to hear that. I'm sad to hear that. I'm gutted. And in a different, I'm gutted. I'm really not happy. I'm gutted that they're changing. I don't know, they're changing something. I'm gutted that they changed the policy, for example. So yeah, this is another word, more in the UK. So I would say pissed off is more international, or pissed. Cheesed off rather UK and Australia, and gutted rather UK. So a few different options for you. Something else that's really important in the world, other than toilets and saying thank you, is money. Money, money, money. Now we have many, many, many different words for money. If you're wondering, what do you think? Where is this money from? Actually, it's a little bit obvious. You can see a queen there. I don't know if you can see the queen, but it's not British money. It's quite tough. But if you visited this country, you'll know. If you think about where I'm from, then you'll know. This is a bit of Australian money. So we've got some notes. Notes are the rectangular pieces of paper, but it's not quite paper. In Australia, we use plastic. And the coins, yes, these shiny coins, different shapes, the 5, 10, 20, etc. We've got some money. What are some different words for money that you know? Here we go. We've got one, bucks. Good word, absolutely, some bucks. How much is it going to cost? It's $20 a night. Yeah, 20 bucks. I'll give it to you for $20, for $20 in a sense. So there's one word for money, bucks. Do you know any others? Okay, I'm not seeing anybody write anything, and maybe it's new for you. Hopefully, dosh. Yeah. How much dosh do you have on you? Dosh. I'm not sure if you've heard this, but maybe if you visited the UK, you've heard it. It's really interesting. How much dosh, how much money do you have on you? And when we say this, it means how much money do you have in your pocket or in your wallet? Yes, or your what is it? Portfel, I think in Polish, in your wallet. I hope that's right. Yeah. So how much money do you have on you? I've got no money. I've got no dosh with me. How much dosh do you have with you or on you? We just want to know how much you have with you. Can I borrow 20? Or can I borrow $20? So bucks is certainly used in the US and certainly in Australia. So the hotel room is only $20 a night. That's pretty cheap in Australia. It's incredibly cheap, $20. How much money do I need for tonight? Just bring $10. That should be enough. So bucks. And the last one is dough. And this is a really cool expression here. She's rolling in dough. That's pretty interesting. She's rolling in dough. So she's rolling in dough, in money. She's rolling in money. What do we mean by that? Basically, we mean that she has a lot of money. Could be somebody from Anin. I know, people live in some huge houses here, some nice houses. They have some very nice cars. They could be rolling in the dough, for sure. Yeah, so rolling in the money. And dough is a cool word because anybody who likes to bake cakes, like me, or eat cakes, to make a cake, you need to make some dough. Or if you're making bread as well, yes? So you get that flour, the water, the eggs, or whatever, mix it together. Or making pizza, you make a dough. So she's rolling in dough in the sense, but she's rolling in money, or he is. So that's a cool word to know as well. Two more to share with you. Now it's getting late, 9:07. You may be feeling a bit tired. So if you're feeling tired, and this action, what is she doing? She's yawning, to yawn. So we've got somebody yawning. She's working long hours. She's about to have a kip, I think. Before the kip, she's feeling very tired. How can we express I'm feeling tired? What do you think? Any ideas? I'm exhausted. You may be thinking that. Yeah, that's one word. Rather common. I'm exhausted. It's been a long day. What else could you say? Here's a few words for you. I love the first one. I'm knackered. You look absolutely knackered. You look absolutely tired. It's been a long day. Now, of course, if someone says that to me, I feel terrible. I don't want to look knackered, but sometimes it happens. But you look knackered. I'm really knackered. I'm really tired. Yes, I'm sorry I can't come to the party. I'm knackered. It's been a long week. You may also be shattered. By the time I got home, I was shattered. I was so tired. It's been a tough day. I'm shattered. Now, shatter, if you shatter something, you kind of break it. So, for example, if I was playing with some balls here and the ball hit the window and it broke, it shatters, it breaks. This is shattered. So I'm shattered. That's the feeling. And the last one is very cool to say. So you can say it at home. I'm zonked. Zonked. Cool word. Or zonked out as a phrasal verb. So we were zonked out after the long journey or our long journey. I'm zonked. It's been a tough day. It's been a long day. I'm knackered. I'm shattered. Very cool words, very expressive, and use them. Yeah, sounds much nicer than I'm really tired. Just say I'm knackered, really tired. Now you may not be tired. You may be like this emoji, and feeling great, or everything's excellent, everything's cool. Now, there's many words, yes, we can use for cool, and they do differ around the world. So trying to just share a few that are rather popular or even a bit old now. What do you know? How to say something's cool or great? What do you think? Yeah, something's awesome for sure. Very popular at the moment. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, particularly in the States. Awesome, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, cool. So yes, we can say awesome for sure. It is, well, is it slang? It's I think what's happened is things are awesome, are really fantastic. We use it more generally now. You're joining us. Awesome. That's great. Yeah, so we use it a bit softer, rather popular from this perspective. So awesome. All right. This is fantastic. Thank you, Magda. Grouse, mate. Now in Australia, when I was growing up, we said grouse. How are things? Grouse. There was a grouse party. Sounds terrible, and unfortunately, the Australian accent sometimes does, as you'll soon hear. So yes, it is from Australia, grouse. I've got a few more words for you. Brill. You should watch this series, this TV series. It's Brill. Now, of course, Brill, brilliant. So we're just shortening brilliant and now using this Brill. Just meaning it's great, it's cool, it's brilliant. Everything's Brill, everything's great. I work with a guy and he loves using this Brill, and that's why I thought I would share it as well, because he is from the UK. Now, it was smashing. You look smashing. Yes, you've come into the office for a cuppa. Hey, you look smashing. You know, have you been on holidays, or you must have had a great kip because you really look smashing. And so yeah, you look great. Yes. And the final one, it's a bit old school. So if I say old school, it's something that maybe was used many years ago. And of course, things change. Yes, they go out of fashion and then they come back in fashion. And so it's very likely we'll hear this in our lifetimes again. It's ace. It's ace that you could join us. I'm chuffed. It's ace. It's cool. It's great. It's fantastic. Everything's ace. Everything's cool. So these are a few other words you could use. One quick comment, the next webinar we're planning is basically on emojis. So these things you see here, we call emojis, and we're going to talk about the different faces that you see. What are the expressions that these emojis are representing? So we'll also kind of be an English class. So look forward to that happening in the new year at a webinar near you. And that's it. So that's the kind of the theme and looking at some international slang. There's one more section for tonight. I feel I have to offer it because I am from Australia and it's not so common for you to hear an Australian speak. So I'm going to share a few words with you. I'm going to let a famous Australian speak with you and share the meaning of some of these words. And then I'm going to teach you how to speak Australian. So we'll start firstly here. This is a list, a nice list of different Australian words. There's many, these are very funny, I have to say, and I'm only going to choose a few for you. The first one, of course, is g'day. And we often say, g'day, mate. G'day, mate. We like saying mate. Everybody's our mate or our friend. So we say, g'day, mate. Now, g'day is, of course, good day. So we just shorten everything in Australia, g'day. So that's common. Underneath g'day, here, sorry for hiding it, is no worries. And we're pretty easygoing, so we say, no worries, everything's fine. No worries. Could you help me? Yeah, sure, no worries. Be happy to. This is very common. And of course, it's used in the UK and other places. And one more for you, fair income. Fair income. And you can use it in different ways. So fair income is like kind of fair income. It's like true or fair income. It really happened. So you tell some amazing story and you go, really? And you go, yeah, fair income. It really happened. Fair income. It's true. So this is a nice word as well. Now, what I want what's up, bro? That sounds rather American to me, I would say. What's up, bro? But if you say, hey, what's up, mate? How are things, mate? She'll be right. Then you'll sound more Australian. Now, rather than hear from me, I've found a fantastic video from Margot Robbie, a very famous Australian actress who's been in some big films that you may have seen. Now, she's going to very quickly go through a list of words. And what I'd like you to do, if you like the sound of any of these or the writing of any of these words, just quickly write them down, mention one to me, and I'll try to explain it a little bit more for you. So here's the video. It's called Aussie Slang with Margot. Let's hopefully just move it here. So it's about 3.5 minutes.
Hi, I'm Marko Robbie and I'm going to teach you some Aussie slang. Bludger. Okay, a bludger is like someone who's lazy. Fair income, kind of like, oh, far out. Good on you. Oh, good on you, mate. Like that. So he's a ripper of a party. Or like he's a ripper of a bloke. Good. Hard yakka? Hard yakka's like hard work. I've never used the word duvalaki in my life. I have no idea what it means. Oh, so if you crack onto someone, you're hitting on them. If you kiss too much and like your face is all red, you say you've got pash rash. What you call a thong, we'd call that a G-string or a G-banger. But thongs to us are your flip-flops. He's a crook. He's a criminal. I'm feeling crook. I'm feeling sick. Chuck a sickie? If you chuck a sickie, you're like calling in sick. A bottle-o is a liquor store. Tinny can either be a boat or a beer can. Stubby, that's a bottle of beer. You're frothing for it, you're excited for it. You froth those, you really like those. Chunder, vomit, spew, throw up. Barbie, barbecue. Avo for avocado. Arvo for afternoon. So yeah, like this Arvo, we're going to go to the bottle-o, get a couple tinnies. Dax are your pants, like trousers. And so if you dack someone, it's like when you run up behind them and you pull their pants down. Whinge, so if you're whinging, you're complaining, like you're whining. If you're a dag, yeah, you're kind of a dork or a goof or whatever. Bog is a shit or poop, as you would say in America.
I'm just going to interrupt. I've got a message or two messages that there's a delay. What I'll do is I'll play a short, a little bit more from the video. Just write down a few words that you like, and I'll try to explain them. And then I'll also send you a link to this video, and maybe it's going to be better to watch it when you get it in kind of real time. So apologies for that delay if you are experiencing it. So I'll play a little bit more, and then I'll send you the link at the end.
In America, a ute is a pickup truck. So jump in the back of the ute. Togs, your bathing suit. Put your togs on. Rat bag. My nephew's a rat bag, like a cheeky little so-and-so, someone who's like kind of misbehaving. Fanny? Fanny? In America, I think you guys call fanny like your bum is your fanny. In Australia, your front bum is your fanny if you're a girl. Esky, I think you call it a cooler, a cuppa, cup of tea.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there because it seems it's not great. So apologies for that. I'll find the link for you and write it in a moment. But if you caught any words and you thought they're rather interesting, feel free to quickly write them now, and I'll try to explain. There were so many, and they are classic words. Yeah, like for example, ripper. Oh yeah, we've got it here actually. Nat wrote it as well. Thank you. Yeah, ripper. Ripper is kind of like great or cool. It was a ripper party. You're gonna join us? Ah, ripper, super. It's like super in Polish, I would say, when you say things are super. Like ripper, fantastic, ripper, great. So this is a really nice word you could use. Almost like grouse, the one we were talking about before. Let's see what else. I haven't got any entries. What I might do, yes, I'll send you this. I'll find this link and we'll add it in a moment. Yeah, there's a nice word, arvo. What we'll do now, I'll go back to the presentation. This is now the last slide, and it's called Speak Like an Aussie. Now, an Aussie is, of course, an Australian person, yes, like myself. So we shorten Australian to Aussie. Now, there's three kind of groups of words that will help you speak like an Australian. The first group are the IE words. For example, selfie. Now, I think this word is used around the world now. Maybe you don't know that selfie started in Australia. Actually, there was a man who took a selfie and he described it as a selfie, and that was the first recording of the word being used. So we like to think of it as an Australian word, something we gave the world, the selfie. But we use this a lot, to be honest. So we've got a mozzie. Now, if you're wondering what a mozzie is, a mozzie goes bzzz, when you're trying to sleep and it annoys you and you're doing this. So yes, a mozzie is a mosquito, a barbie, or a barbecue, BBQ as we say, of course is a barbecue, a grill in Poland. Brekkie, hey, let's meet for brekkie. What are we doing there? We're meeting for breakfast, yeah? So let's meet for brekkie. And that's quite, like I'm from Melbourne and we love to meet for brekkie. We have a big cafe culture, it's very popular. And lippy, that's interesting, lippy, what do you think lippy is? It's more often women are using lippy than men. So yes, lippy is lipstick. So I just need to put my lippy on. So I just need to put some lipstick on. So they're the IE words. There's many of these. Now we also have the O words ending in O. So for example, as Nat wrote there, arvo. Arvo is short for afternoon. So what are you doing this arvo? What are you doing this afternoon? What are you doing this arvo? That's how we'd say it. Or what are you doing Saturday arvo? We shorten Saturday to Saturday, and then we say arvo. So Saturday arvo. What are you doing Saturday arvo? Okay, so we've got afternoon. We've got servo. Ooh, that's a tougher one, I have to say. So anybody who has a car and needs to get petrol in Australia, you need to go to the servo, which is short for service station. I'm going to the servo. And vegos are a group of people who generally only eat vegetables. Yes, I'm a veggie. We don't say meato if someone who likes to eat meat, but a veggie. And smoko, well, of course, that's what you need to do if you need to have a cigarette. Yeah, so I'm just going for a smoko. I'm just going for 5 or 10 minutes to have a cigarette. And the last one is muso. Now, if you play music, you're a muso. Yeah, you're a musician. And the colleague I work with, actually, he's a muso and playing the trumpet. So we love adding O's to words. And the final group of words are these abbreviated words. When we love shortening things, we're a little bit lazy, we're easygoing, we don't care so much about saying things properly. So instead of saying good day, like they say in Britain, good day, how are you, fine chap? We just say g'day. G'day, mate. That's as simple as that. Yes, a roo, or of course a kangaroo. So if you're driving at night in Australia, in the country areas, the rural areas, you have to be careful about roos because they like to jump out in front of you before when you're driving. So roos, uni. I'm guessing many of you, all of you, have been to university. So we always talk about uni. Macca's, driving from Warszawa to Poznan. Haven't been to Macca's for a long time, but I went to Macca's. So Macca's, McDonald's. Yeah, so we always talk about Macca's. And the last one, Australia or Australia. We don't say Australia. We're a bit lazy. Australia. Where are you from? Australia. All right, cool. Good on you, mate. That's it. That's Australian speak. Now, the fun is with you, yeah? So hopefully when you hear these words, you'll understand what's happening and try to use them. Have some fun, yeah? We learn languages. It's great fun to use them, and it's just more interesting, and you'll make somebody laugh. Absolutely. They'll be impressed if you can use any of these words. So I hope that's been useful, beneficial, and you'll be, yeah, feeling comfortable using some of these slang words. Hope to see you at the British School for a cuppa or at the next webinar when we'll be talking about emojis. Have a nice kip tonight and see you soon.
Okay, hello, I'm back. Yes, we together with Marko hope that you all enjoyed this webinar. And are you ready with your stories at the beginning of my talk? Yes, see you very soon, of course, Yasha. Yeah, come for a cuppa. Thanks a million. Yeah, very good usage of idioms. Yeah, have you got your longest story? Because I have been writing mine while listening, and I love to share it with you. I'm chuffed. Yes, Vitka, very good. Good job. Yeah, so we hope you're feeling brill and not knackered after our webinar. We are really chuffed that you have been here today. We hope you enjoyed Marko's Chinwag about slang. Make sure you have everything sorted and that you use the loo before you take a kip. Tomorrow, remember to drop in to BSW, which means British Survivor, for a cuppa, of course, and please stop whinging about the weather. It's better to take a selfie. Okay, so thank you very much. Yeah, thanks a million for being here with us. Please remember to follow our Facebook page, Facebook fan page, which is called British School Warszawa Baver. Yeah, you'll find it on Facebook for more updates about webinars that are coming up. Yeah, and as Marko has already mentioned, the next one will be about emojis and emotions. Yeah, connected to them. You check your knowledge if you're using emojis in the correct way. Yeah, there is. You can see the link. You can see the link of that Marko would like to share with you. The link that you can go back and Marko will be slang. Yeah, and to learn some more about Aussie slang. Okay, and of course remember, for those of you who would like to watch it once again, so you can go, of course, this video will be recorded and we'll post it on our YouTube channel. Our name on YouTube is British Survivor too. Yeah, so please go there if you want to revisit all the words from slang or break them down in smaller pieces. So yeah, thanks a lot for being here with us. Mm, Drop in for a cuppa if you want to meet us in person, not only online. Yeah, and yeah, follow our Facebook page for more details.
And Merry Christmas, we should
Oh,
say,
yeah,
yes? With Christmas
exactly,
coming
I think
soon.
so,
'Cause this is the
exactly,
last
yeah.
webinar for the year.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll be here for another minute, so maybe you want to ask some questions, or maybe you would like to suggest topics for our next webinars. Would be nice to hear them too. We've got the topic for our next webinar that is coming soon. Next year, I think.
January.
January. So this is a good idea to follow us on Facebook because you'll know the exact date. Yeah, thank you, Svetka, and good night. Yeah, we'll stay here for a minute, so feel free to wish us good night. Okay. Okay, I can see you disappearing. Time to sleep, right? Good night. Oh, good night, Asha. Okay. Real. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Abba. Nice usage of slang. Okay, good night.
All right.